In this video, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how to change your rear emergency brake cables, both the left and the right side, on your Pontiac Grand Prix, looking at 2004 to 2008 models. Don't forget to check out the clip at the end of the video for more information on the channel. But in case you don't get a chance to, let me know your feelings. Share it on the video. That means liking, disliking, commenting, and subscribing. Let me know what you think, and that also helps the channel grow too. Alright, video request time. So this video is a video request from one of my subscribers. Asked about how to do the e-brakes and specifically how to take the cable off of where the brake assembly is. I did my e-brakes a few years ago, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take everything apart. But I am going to show you what I did, how to get it done, and some of the issues I encountered, because I did encounter issues, especially if it's your first time. It's almost guaranteed to be the first time doing the e-brakes, and a lot of times they're rust seized. There's all sorts of issues. So I'm going to show you some of that here now. I'm not going to do the work directly, but I'm going to talk about it, explain what you need to do, so on and so forth. So what do you need to get this job done? Well, you need your jack stand, so you can lift up the car and support it safely. Anything to take off your wheels, so you know your impact gun, breaker bar, anything like that. Some lubricant, flathead screwdriver. A pick would be helpful, not completely necessary, but it helped me a lot. A vice grip's also not necessary, but completely helpful as well. You'll see why. And a pliers. I have a double-sided pliers here that works really well, but just a pliers really, that's good for gripping and things like that, so you can squeeze and also pull if you need to pull, anything like that. So that's all you should really need to get the job done. Okay, so first let's talk about all the main components. First thing, just so I can get it right off, because I know you guys will notice the tie downs here. Explain that in a bit. But first let's just talk about the components. So first you have the front cable. We're not going to be talking about that too much today, well, not really at all. But that goes all the way to the front to your actual pedal at the front, and then it comes around here and goes to the bracket assembly. That's when you press the brake, right? This pulls it. When you press the pedal in, it pulls this cable in, which pulls this, which creates the tension, right? Then you've got this other one here, and that goes to your driver's side e-brake, and then you've got this other half from here, and that goes around back to the passenger side. So that is your entire e-brake kind of assembly there. Alright, so first I'm going to show you guys how to actually disconnect the the cable from the actual brake assembly itself. Because either way, if you're doing just one cable, one side, let's say one cable snapped, or you're doing both sides just to replace them, you need to know how to do that. And it's the same for both sides. So as you can see, we're looking at the driver's side here, and again, same for both sides. You see the cable comes around here. Oh, in case it wasn't obvious already, and hopefully it was, make sure you have the brake pedal is not pushed down in the inside of the car, because that'll create the tension and you won't get any play. So you do have to make sure that the brakes are not in use. The e-brake pedal is not pushed down, it's up all the way. So if you look over here now, let's see if I can swing the camera around for you. You'll see that is the good old rusty assembly there. Swings around here, comes around. So that kind of holds it all in place. So what you need to do is you need to pull the cable out and forward, swing it around from here, because this is just an open area. So it has to come out and around and then swing out of here. Where the problem that comes in, I mean, technically it's easy overall, but of course when it rusts and everything like that, it tends to seize in here. It gets very hard to do. So I find spraying a lot of lubricant and everything was very helpful. And then using between a pliers and a pick and a flathead, I would work it bit by bit, work in here, loosen the rust out, work around there, work around back in here, and loosen it bit by bit. Then when I was able to get it loose enough, when I swung it just out, of course I had all this brake assembly, all this has to be removed, right? You have to take all that off. Or like loosen it anyway, so you can get to here a lot better, get the wheel off. Then I took a pliers, grabbed it, pulled, right? Because again, hopefully nothing is seized in here. You'll be able to pull that cable out and then swing it around, and then it comes right through here, and then leave it. Now once you do that, you'll see there's a clips here that hold it in place here. You do have to release these clips with a flathead or anything. You just push it right in there, release the clips, and then that will slide right out as well. And it's the same for the other side. So that's done. Let's talk about the passenger side. I'll talk to the passenger side and talk about the driver's side. So webby everywhere. Alright, so now you see the cable. Let's assume now you've released it from there. You released the clips. That's my passenger side there. Comes around. And the first thing you'll notice right here, this clip right here. So releasing this is fairly straightforward, but kind of tricky. Between a pliers and a flathead screwdriver, you'll be able to get that right out. It's just a matter of squeezing. Let's get my hand around here. Squeezing these clips through, and they come out. But you really want to be doing this quite yet. The first thing you need to work on is that. And that's where most of my trouble will come in when I did it. So this seizes up in here, rusts and seizes and bonds. And it's very hard to get out when it's time to get out. And the way to get it out, if everything is working well and it's perfect, let me just adjust my light here for you, is that, again, so you've released the cable on that side. You then come here and this will pull, slide up, forward through here. You pull it out through here, this cable, right? And then release it. Then you release this bit back there, and then pull the cable right out, and your cable's out, and installation's reverse. However, this one here does give a lot of problems because of all the rust. So again, what I did is first sprayed a lot of lubricant. I used the pick and the flathead, and I would work it, right? Work it around, really work into here, work into here. The point is, when you're doing this, is to really split this from the actual clip here, right? Split the actual end from the clip. So it takes a little bit of time, but as you work it, you'll start seeing that there'll be a gap. Gap will be created as it breaks. So that is really kind of what you're trying to do. You're trying to split that. And so I would use a flathead, work it in here, just gently, not force it, just gently work it the pick, and slowly use the pick and the flathead to push it through and push it up bit by bit until it got loose enough. And then I was able to get it out. So that pretty much, once I got that, then I took the pliers and the flathead, squeezed this, worked it until it came out, pulled that right out. That side was already done. Boom, cable was out. Now, installation is very similar. So actually pretty much the same in reverse. So you took the cable, and at first I pushed it through here, locked it in, right? This is obviously the new cable I had installed a few years ago. Then I brought it around here and put it through here. Now the problem I had was trying to get this part in through here without creating tension. So I because the cable's new, it's tight, it's tense. So I was like, okay, where do I want to work? Do I want to work here, or do I want to work there? So because I figured it'd probably be harder to work on that side, I took the cable, I brought it through there, swung it around, and clipped it in, clipped all these pieces in and everything, got that taken care of. Then I came over here, and I pulled the cable with all my might. I mean, I pulled that cable as much as I could, and I used the vice grip, and I gripped it at the end, right over there, and gripped it in place. So this gave me enough to play with over here, because the cable's tense, and when you try and pull and you're fighting with it, especially if you're doing two brand new cables, it's a bitch. It's really hard to do. So I pulled and pulled and pulled, then I used a vice, and I gripped it right there, and then this gave me enough length. The length actually came out, oh, let's say about there or so, which was just enough. So then I swung it in here. It took a little bit of effort, but I pushed it in and then pulled it and released the vise. And when I released the vise, it immediately tensioned, and it was all set. Okay, now we're going to go back to the driver's side and show you the parts to worry about here. Now, it's similar, but there is one kind of bigger issue. So again, now let's assume you've released all that stuff here. You've come along here. It's got a similar clip to the one I showed you on this side here. But then you've got this part right here, which is where you can see the ties come in. Now this, I'll be honest with you, if you're going to do this job, especially the driver's side, you should try and get a replacement one of these. I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, because it's going to be rusted. It's going to be in terrible shape, right? Especially this age of car. Unless you live in an area where you don't have things like road salt or winter or anything like that,
Where I live, I do have that. So this was a big problem for me. And you can see what happened here now. I had to release the cable from here. This was completely seized off. This was completely seized in here. So getting this off was a problem. So I can put the new cable in and make adjustments and so on. But I was able to do it. But similar to the other side, to over here, it was just a matter of working it. But no matter how much I worked, let me see if I can get a... I'm going to swing the camera around here for a second. Let's see if I get a shot of it. Well, I can't get the cleanest shot because the tie downs are there and everything too. But the idea, of course, is you're releasing it from here. But I actually end up having to bend this outward to give it enough room, just enough so I can get this released. And then of course this swings all the way. Let's see if I can show you guys. See what the new threads look like there. They still look good. It's just these outer ones. But yeah, you have to get this all released out. And it was a lot of trial to try and get this out here because it just would not release. I did finally get it out, working with the pliers, with a flathead, and working until it finally did come out. But you can see the byproduct of that, of course, is when I put it back in, this had become loose. And so I put the tie downs in. My intention is, of course, to replace this. I haven't got around to it yet, to be honest with you. But you can see that there. But this is the same idea. It's actually pretty much the same philosophy as working with this here. It's just a matter of working this around until it does become loose. It's just it was very hard to do, and the tie downs are a temporary replacement. So don't use tie downs. I would warn you, if you're doing this job, get a replacement piece here. And at least get this all replaced out and everything like that, because it will be rusted, it may be damaged, it may even be broken, it will be seized. There's all going to be sorts of problems. But once you get this part, going back to it now, once you get this part released, you get the whole cable out. That's the same thing. You just go here and you squeeze this in, pull the cable right out, and the whole light cable just comes out completely. Installation now is the reverse. I took the cable and pushed it in first to lock it in, so now it's in place. I brought it around and locked it over there, make sure that was all in, and then I secured this in afterwards and then made my adjustments at the time. So, and then that's pretty much it. That's how you get the job done. I wish I would show you guys. I know it would be better and more beneficial to actually see it in action. But again, I don't need, as one, it's already kind of rusty as it is. And two, I don't need to do what I did a few years ago. It's still functional. So I don't want to take everything apart at this point. But hopefully that'll give you guys at least some insights just to see what needs to get done and maybe give you a rough idea on the job.
Now the YouTube stuff. I always love a great feedback. So make sure right off the bat to subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Now, if you like something on the channel, definitely like it. Give it that thumbs up. If you disliked it, thumbs down for sure. But let me know why. That's what the comment section are for. And whatever it is, if you like something, then I know it's working. And if you dislike something, then I know something didn't. But let me know why, so I can continue to build a channel and make it better for me and for you. Aside from that, commenting is great too. So if there's something you can do better, something you can do different, any tips for other viewers, I'm all about that too. So make sure to put that in there. If you have a question about something that's maybe not even related directly to the video, leave that for me as well. Other than that, I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next video.